The next morning, Claire wandered through the town. The air carried a faint, sweet scent, candle wax and something else metallic like old coins left in rain. She passed a crumbling church, its stone facade blackened by rain and years. Ivy curled through the broken windows and its bell tower leaned slightly eastward like a sentinel with a tired neck. A man sweeping the steps paused and glanced at her, muttering under his breath, "3 chimes mean someone's been claimed." When she asked what he meant, he kept sweeping, never looking up again. Next came a shuttered bookstore, its sign half fallen, lettering flaking off in curling paint. Through the dusty glass, she could just make out rows of books left in disarray. Some collapsed like forgotten tombstones. A cat stared at her from inside but didn't move. A candle sat on the counter unlit, but the wax was still warm when she placed her hand against the glass. She passed a rusted playground, swing sets that creaked even when still, a seesaw frozen at an uneasy tilt, and a merry-go-round covered in moss. Someone had left a worn doll at the base of the slide. It hadn't been touched in years, but somehow, it hadn't blown away. An old man sitting on a nearby bench spoke without looking at her. "If the wind stops, don't breathe in. That's when the hollow listens." She glanced back, but the bench was empty. Then she saw it. A house, abandoned, dilapidated. Her breath caught. She didn't recognize it, but she did. It sat behind a black iron gate wrapped in brambles, windows boarded, door ajar. Weeds pushed through cracked stone steps like veins under pale skin. One shutter flapped lazily as though waving her in. As she stepped closer, a little girl sitting on the curb nearby whispered without turning, "That's your house?" Claire turned. "What did you say?" The girl looked up, puzzled. "I didn't say anything." Inside, the house smelled of damp wood and mildew, but there were traces of life. A broken teacup in the sink, shoes lined by the door, a child's drawing on the fridge, faded to a ghostly blur. Claire wandered through the rooms, dread pooling in her stomach. Everything felt too specific. A dent in the stair rail matched the one from a childhood memory she didn't know she had. Upstairs, the hallway led her to a bedroom where the mirror was cracked but still reflected her face. Only briefly she swore it wasn't hers. The feeling chased her all the way back to the inn, but the old woman only greeted her with a faint nod, as though Claire had simply gone out for air. That night, she sat by the small fireplace in the common room, nursing a cup of tea that tasted faintly of river water. The other guests spoke in low voices that fell silent whenever she glanced their way. One man, without looking at her, muttered, "Don't go near the bells after dark." She wanted to ask what he meant, but the room seemed to hold its breath until she turned back to her tea.